In the darkness of secrets and untold truths, our channel will accompany you on a journey to discover dramatic stories, where every character, every detail of the scene carries an inescapable obsession. This is not just a story, but also a maze of truth, lies, hatred and traces of crime. Let us lead you into a world where every smile can hide a knife, and every closed door hides unexpected darkness. Eva walked through the heavy iron gate of the villa with a mood of half excitement, half anxiety. The stone path leading to Leslie's house seemed unusually quiet. The trees on both sides did not rustle even though the wind from the nearby lake still blew through in cold waves. The once familiar house now had a strangely gloomy look. The main door was half closed as if waiting for an intruder. Eva's footsteps stopped, her heart pounding in her chest, an inexplicable feeling of unease rising. Curiosity overcame her hesitation. She reached out and pushed the door open. The cold air rushed out, the strong smell of blood mixed with the musty smell from the old carpet rushed straight into Eva's nose, making her suffocate. In the dim light from the window, Leslie's image appeared, making her speechless. Leslie's body was motionless, lying sprawled in the middle of the living room, blood staining the carpet like a horror painting. Eva felt her legs go numb, her throat choked, the horror made her whole body tremble. At that moment, all the surrounding sounds seemed to be swallowed, leaving only her own pounding heartbeat and heavy breathing. Eva approached, each step slow and trembling. Her trembling hand reached out, gently touching Leslie's cold arm. The cold feeling made her jump back, her eyes wide open, filled with fear. Leslie was still breathing, but her breath was weak, fragile like a thread about to break. The panic turned into a flood of tears. Eva tried to calm down, her eyes darting around the scene. She recognized the chaotic traces. Broken wine glasses on the floor, scratches on the table, a crumpled handkerchief stained with blood on the sofa. But what made Eva freeze was a small object lying right next to Leslie's body, an exquisite bracelet with a blue stone face, an item that everyone knew belonged to Nicole. The appearance of that bracelet was like a knife stabbing straight into Eva's mind. All the rumors, Nicole's hateful looks for Leslie suddenly appeared clearly. Nicole had never hidden her resentment, because in her eyes, Leslie was the one who stole her happiness, destroying the pieces of the family that she had longed to keep. How many times, Nicole uttered harsh words, her cold eyes piercing through Leslie, like a sentence that would never forgive. And now, as Leslie lay motionless in a pool of blood, the bracelet was present as a cruel evidence, leading all suspicions to fall on Nicole. But Eva did not rush to a conclusion. The initial fear gradually gave way to a complicated train of thought. Was the murderer really Nicole, or did someone intentionally leave traces to guide the investigation? In this closed world, where each villa hides secrets, no one can be completely trusted. The intricate relationships between families, the hidden power struggles, the jealous people secretly observing, all could become motives for murder. Eva understood that, behind that pool of blood was not only Leslie's fragile life, but also the door opening to a dark and mysterious maze. She recalled the recent days, when the atmosphere in the community became heavy. Leslie seemed to carry an unspeakable burden on her shoulders, often looking around as if afraid someone was watching. Once, Eva caught Leslie standing silently in front of Nicole's gate, her eyes filled with obsession, then quickly walked away when she realized someone was watching. The relationship between the two women was not simply jealousy, it was like a deep wound, corroding both of them, making it impossible for either of them to escape. Eva struggled to stand up, ran to call an ambulance, and at the same time called the police. While waiting, she turned back to observe the scene with wide eyes. Every detail seemed to be imprinted in her memory. She saw a long trail of blood on the wall near the stairs, as if Leslie had tried to crawl to find a way out. There was a crumpled piece of paper left on the coffee table. The writing was so scribbled that it was hard to read, but she managed to make out a few lines. The truth cannot be buried. The short sentence evoked a secret, enough to make Eva shiver. The sound of ambulances and police sirens pierced the silence. The paramedics quickly took Leslie to the emergency room, while the police sealed off the house. Eva was called in to report the whole incident. All eyes were on her, as if Eva's story was the only thread connecting the truth. The police discovered more shoe prints in the pool of blood, not matching Leslie's shoe size. These traces, along with the bracelet, immediately became the key to the investigation. Meanwhile, Nicole was put on the first suspect. She appeared at the police station with a calm appearance, but her eyes contained an inexplicable coldness. Eva was present when the police announced that they had found her bracelet at the scene. Nicole did not deny that it was her bracelet, but confirmed that she had lost it many days ago. Her voice did not tremble, but her eyes flashed with anger and deep hurt. Nicole knew that all the grudges between her and Leslie had long been a topic of discussion, and now, the evidence seemed to put all the blame on her shoulders. Eva watched the scene, conflicted in her heart. Part of her believed that Nicole had enough reason to hate Leslie. But another part felt the pride in Nicole's eyes, a pride that would not allow her to lower herself to become a cold-blooded killer. This crime could be the work of another hand, someone hiding behind thick walls of secrets, cleverly leaving traces to steer the investigation towards Nicole. In the following days, that closed community was abuzz with rumors. Everyone had their own speculations, whispers spread throughout the hallways, cafes, and gardens. People remembered the arguments between Nicole and Leslie, remembered the cold eyes, the bitter words. But at the same time, there were also whispers about a third person in the dark, a character who never revealed himself but always watched Leslie's life. Some people said they saw a strange figure around her house late at night, a figure that flashed and then disappeared into the night. The police continued to collect evidence. A crumpled piece of paper in Leslie's house was examined, and the handwriting was determined not to be hers. This opened a new direction. Perhaps Leslie had received a warning, a secret was exposed, and the price to pay was blood. At the same time, the shoe prints found at the scene did not match Nicole's, making the case even more complicated. However, the bracelet was still a shadow that followed her, pushing Nicole into a spiral of suspicion. Eva was caught in that spiral. She was not only the first witness, but also became the person caught between the threads of suspicion and the truth. During the long nights, she couldn't sleep. The image of Leslie in a pool of blood haunted her dreams. Every time she remembered that blue bracelet, her heart was torn. Her belief in justice gradually wavered as the pieces seemed to not fit. Someone had set up a play, and all of them were just pawns being led. In the chaos, Leslie was still lying unconscious in the hospital. Her fragile life was the only key to unlocking the truth. Eva understood that if Leslie woke up, everything would be clear, but if not, the secret would be buried forever with the spilled blood. She began to investigate in her own way, quietly searching for pieces of memory, details that the police might overlook. And in that journey, she gradually realized that the truth did not only revolve around Nicole or Leslie, but also involved a web of sin hidden deep within this seemingly perfect community. Every mansion, every light on late at night hides a truth. And Eva, from an unwitting witness, now becomes the only one who dares to step deep into that dark maze, where a small mistake can make her the next victim. The journey has just begun. Secrets are still waiting to be exposed, traces are still lying under the dust of time, and the real culprit is probably still following Eva's every step. Let's continue to explore with us, because behind every darkness there is always a truth more horrifying than imagination. If you want to accompany the journey to expose the mystery, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel. The story is not over, and you definitely don't want to miss what's waiting behind the cold gate of Beyond the Gates.